So, very good afternoon, everyone present here. Now we will be starting with the next session, which is soul power and attracting the life of excellence using astrology, law of attraction, and spirituality. So, let's start with the lead speaker for today. It's Elena Ivana.
Thank you. So what I'm going to be doing here today is I would like to first introduce myself and what I do, and then we're going to carry on with our beautiful theme today, which is a karma, law of attraction, soul power.
Can you just keep the mic pictures?
Oh, that better. Perfect. So, what I do, I'm a professional astrologer and born intuitive reader, spiritual reader. I always had a gift, and that gift was like helping others with transitions, channeling messages for them. So when I was very young, instead of just reading cards or Turkish coffee cup, if anybody's familiar, I'm from former Yugoslavia, and back home we do Turkish coffee cup readings. So I figured, my mother wanted me to be a doctor, so I said instead of me just doing coffee cup readings, maybe I should start studying something more feasible. So I fell in love with astrology. Just a little brief note on astrology, what that is. It's basically a science that has been planetary science that we use in predicting the future, but today I'm not going to be talking about prediction, I'm going to be talking actually about what this really means to us in daily life. So basically astrology has been around for, like everyone knows, for at least 5,000 years. Since the first time, the way Egyptians called it, astrology has been in use in Sumeria, ancient India. Today we have two major astrology that we use principles. Is Vedic one, as you guys know here in India, and Western. I'm a Western astrologer, although I'm familiar with the Vedic and Kabbalah principles. So I fell in love with astrology, and what I've discovered that when people, in my early readings, what I've noticed that it is not only good enough, you tell people what's going to happen tomorrow or you give them. I don't consider myself fortune teller. Why? Because when people come to see me, I can connect with their souls and read more about, I can see more than, than just doing a card spread. So basically what astrology does for you, everyone on the moment of your birth, everyone has a birth chart, what is the birth chart? It's your blueprint of your soul. So the moment of your birth, which includes time of your birth, location, of course, date and year, you get constructed your own birth chart. And this is your contract with God for this lifetime. In India, as well in India, we talk about what's about karma and karmic issues, how is this connected? In astrology, when you do people's birth chart, person's birth chart, you can actually see where is their traits, their downfalls, their karmic issues. So therefore, that's the main reason why we're going to be talking now, just to sum up why we're here today. I can talk about astrology whole day, but hey, we're going to need 2 days to listen to that. So I'm just going to get straight to the point. What I would love to talk about is here today is the challenges that us people going through and how astrology ties into all that. So astrology is divided, consists of 4 elements, okay? Which is actually, we have a 12 zodiac signs, as you all know about zodiac signs, and they're divided in 4 groups. So to sum up, not to talk about everyone individually, I will just divide everything in 4 groups, which is earth signs, water signs, fire signs, and air signs. So basically, again, astrology has been around since the dawn of mankind, and to predict actually war, and mostly when the people are going to plant crops or harvest, but today too as well. But I'm talking more, it's from my perspective, what I've encountered after years of working and everything. So I would like to, and I want to make it really fun, I promise. I would like to address first the earth signs, which I'm sure many of you are earth signs. That's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Who's earth sign here? So we have some. Perfect. So what is the traits of earth signs? They are really grounded. Number one, grounded. Like really business oriented, extremely driven. Like people born in those signs are like, they love to make money. If you know how they say, if you want something to get done, leave it to the earth signs. They're really kind of straight on point, really kind of they're outgoing, but more like about business, For them, they don't have much fun, that's the problem, but they have lots of business. But anyway, the biggest karmic issue in this lifetime that people born in those signs get, challenged with is inability to have more fun. You possibly wonder, what does that mean? I'm so much fun, I'm going out and having fun. Well, their desire are more goal-oriented. And when you are goal-oriented and let's say you have a huge career goal, you sometimes tend to forget your loved ones, your own inner needs. So what I would suggest, that would be kind of one of these karmic patterns and lessons that people born in those signs encounter. Again, I want you to all keep in mind on one thing. This is a generic, that doesn't apply to every person clearly. Why? Because every 12th person in the world is Capricorn or Taurus or Virgo. So in order for a person to see complete life pattern and soul purpose and karmic lessons, we would have to do individual birth chart. So keep it in mind, it's just for the generic signs, but I'm sure you can relate to it or someone you know. So that would be their biggest karmic lessons. So what would be the transformational path or like a quick fix, the something to help them?
Excuse me.
It's okay. Thank you. So what would be a quick fix or a, transformational path for the earth signs to help them kind of thrive and really live the life of their excellence and their true soul power? Simply, sometimes you have to just take a deep breath, lose the control. They're very controlling. And you know what? I'm sorry, no offense to anyone, but every earth sign that I know is very controlling. They want everything done today, tomorrow, whatever. Sometimes you just need to take a step back and relax. So try to connect more to your inner self. This is a startup, right? So, I can talk much more, but I want my panelists to have time to talk to. Okay, the next group of people I would love to address is my favorite, even though I'm not a water sign, water signs. Water signs are people born in sign of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. My favorite. Why? Because they are known to be as psychic healers of the zodiac. There is no Scorpio that I don't know personally that is not psychic or extremely intuitive or very passionate. Water sign in general, they're always very open to these higher teachings and higher consciousness. They're amazing, truly. So that would be their main characteristics. Very nurturing, very giving. Their biggest karmic issue that they all seem to encounter in this lifetime is overgiving, overextending, boundaries. Their boundaries are normally very weak, so they tend to, do more for others than they do for themselves. Every water sign that ever came to see me, main issue was, oh my God, I'm depleted, my mother-in-law, my children, my husband, I'm tired, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm crazy. That's why. They need to, transformational path, they need to really go inward. They need to focus, They need to be focused on their true desires, which means they need to start be a little bit selfish. Put yourself first. Who's a water sign here? How many Scorpios we have here? Okay, Scorpio. Pisces, Cancer. Is there any Pisces here?
I am, Pisces, but Scorpion is
Rising sign, absolutely. Sorry guys, just very quickly, good point. Rising sign is the sign on a moment of your birth, which creates a unique birth chart that is applying to each one of us. We are not going to go into that, that's total together different conversation, but just in case.
Is that your moon zodiac?
No, sweetie. The ascendant or rising sign, is determined by the time of your birth. The time when you enter this world actually shows your true self. What is your true higher power, which is your rising sign. But like I said, that's altogether a different story. I'm going to try to stay right on track. But you can ask me later. So going back to the water sign, the biggest transformation, the biggest lesson that they need to master in this lifetime, learn to say no. It's healthy to say no. A few days ago, I heard the best speech ever here when the person said, saying no was the most liberating. And sometimes it is. Because water is all about nurturing, and when you over-nurture something, what's gonna happen? Imagine you have a plant, and you keep pouring water, the plant dies instead of to thrive. So basically that will be the simple thing, right? So the next ones are fire signs. My favorite, I'm fire sign. I'm Sag. How many fire we have here? Aries, Leos, is everybody Leo here? Look at this. Nice, Sag, good. Okay, fire sign. Oh, they are very known to be like the biggest optimists of zodiac, and I can relate to that. Trust me, I'm too optimistic sometimes. So the greatest soul power that they have is the ability to meet people, to mingle, to socialize. Oops, Mercury retrograde. Sorry.
What are the three signs of the fire?
Sorry. Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Yes. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So we gotta keep going. Absolutely. So yes, biggest karmic issues that our fire signs usually encounter is, and I can tell you from a personal perspective, it is true, we are overzealous. We are sometimes so deeply, optimistic that we don't see the truth even though it's obvious. And this usually happens, an ability to see, like in person, in relationships. We are very, sometimes even delusional when it comes to relationships, because we tend to give a partner a higher value than they truly are. And sometimes this can be a great thing. You possibly wonder why it's bad to be super optimistic. It is not, but depends how you use it, we are back. So like that's some kind of karmic patterns that they encounter, but the quick fix or the quickest transformational path for the fire sign would be something that earth signs have it, but they're lacking, and fire and vice versa, groundedness. Fire sign have a problem, they're not grounded. Like it takes them eons, and some of my friends here, they know that the fire signs took them forever to learn to meditate, learn to ground themselves. This is what we're missing. And unless we master those principles that we can ground that fire, we will always scatter. So that would be just transformational part, what I would really, what I find people, born in fire sign, they kind of need to connect with more. And last but not least, air signs. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Any air signs? Nice. Okay, wow. They're gifted communicators of the zodiac. By the way, you two lovely ladies, can you tell me your signs? Of course, you're an entrepreneur, now I get it. What about you, sweetie?
I'm Leo.
Oh, Leo, superstar of zodiac, let me tell you. Anyway, so air signs, very gifted. The best journalists are air signs. The most gifted writers are air signs, communicators, teachers. They're extremely powerful, like to spread a message. And believe it or not, the biggest humanitarians of this time, of our time, were born in the sign of Aquarius, if you didn't know about that. Yes, they're known as inventors of the zodiac. Why? Because they're thinking always. Their brain doesn't work the same frequency, let's say like a water signs that always want to nurture and love and have fun and too much of this and that. So there you go. So what is their biggest karmic pattern that they encounter in this lifetime? And I'm sorry, I don't want some of you to find yourself like, okay, I'm not like that. Again, keep in mind there is many variables to truly determine your true soul power, individual soul power. This is more generic. Problem in air signs is they have a problem in personal relationships. They have a problem committing. They have problem being there. Like they're always like, okay, I like to go here. No, I like to go there. I want to be detached. I need my time by myself. Stop bothering me. I need my time. That's Aquarius. That's Gemini. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Is that Libra too?
Sorry?
Libra.
Libra, of course. We can't forget Libra. Superstars, another beauty queen of the zodiac. Yes, speaking of Libra, good you mentioned, because this is a part of your karmic issues. Over-impressing other people. Libra wakes up in the morning and says, oh my God, I gotta look good today. People gotta love me. Oh, I'm a queen ruled by Venus, planet of beauty. I gotta satisfy everybody. The truth is true. My mother's Libra. She wakes up in the morning and says, oh my God, my neighbor doesn't want to talk to me because I didn't want to lend her 100 euros. I said, Ma, this is crazy, but she's Libra, right? So they're already concerned about their images, and this is true about their image in general. The air signs have a little problem, but again, the biggest problem is detachment, but sometimes unhealthy one. You know, they tend to be here for you today and tomorrow. With respect, somebody would call them bipolars of the zodiac. With respect. Anyway, so what is the quick fix for the air signs? What I really find that works the best, they truly, truly, truly need to connect with their inner selves. You know, relationships are tough no matter what. I mean, you all guys know that, you know, whether it's a business or love. And so what I would advise, heart to heart, you know, you gotta be honest with yourself. You communicate with others, but you cannot connect to yourself on the level. You keep pushing the little thing aside. You just don't want to open your heart to be honest. So be honest, you know, and just really find out what is your true passion. Don't be just, you know, over cerebral, just thinking and creating, because air signs, they love to kind of come up with a solution. Oh yeah, that works by, but they don't want to connect to their heart center. You have to connect with them. Stay connected with your heart center in order to, you know, to remove this karma, or at least to try to kind of unblock it. So that would be as far, this part I just wanted to conclude. I mean, I'm sure many of you could relate to that, or to your friends or family. So now what I would like to just briefly talk about, and then we will do one beautiful exercise. I want you all guys to do something today. I just want to mention a little bit about law of attraction and what is got to do with anything I just said. Okay, how this works for the zodiac and signs of zodiac. So what I found, actually one of my brilliant friends over there had Tanya. She had an amazing workshop on the brain patterns and thinking and everything. So I will not be wasting too much time explaining about law of attraction, but I'm going to tie this up, how this works with all this, what I just said, how you can actually help yourself to put all this into perspective. So what is the law of attraction? Just in simple terms, like Buddha famously said once upon a time, what we think we become. We are what we think, you know, what we project that. So that's the truth. You know, what we think tells a lot about us. That's how we behave towards others, and, you know, and sometimes these negative patterns that we all have can really cause a lot of problems in our life. Starting with depression, anxiety, sickness, all kinds of illnesses, not to mention some old and stuck beliefs that we all kind of have, and this can prevent us to live truly to a soul power, in a soul power. And that's why, you know, like for instance, how I practiced that for many years actually. Very quickly, how I use law of attraction and how you can all use it. I want to be practical. I don't, like I said, I don't want to go into a huge debate what that is, because I know that, I'm sure that all of you know about law of attraction. The way I use it, and I teach my people and clients to use it, is any law of attraction or anything that you want to attract in this lifetime starts with the one thing: gratitude. You don't have a gratitude, don't set those goals. I don't care that you want to have a house and you want to have a diploma and you want to fall in love. If you don't have gratitude, you're not going to get it. You can practice law of attraction. All you want is not going to happen, I promise you. If you don't have gratitude and faith, that has to be at the absolute level if you want to achieve any kind of life of excellence. So the simple exercise I would guys ask you to do at home, many of you possibly even read or heard about it. 30 days challenge. Take, for instance, only 10 things a day, and believe me, it's harder than it sounds. Every morning you get up, when you're fresh, and you know, fresh in the morning, fresh start, just write the 10 things that you're grateful for. Could be, I'm grateful for my home, for my car, for my health, but you have to do it for 30 days, and you'll see on the end, you're going to end up writing that you are grateful that you went to, you know, Timbuktu 20 years ago and you met, the monk. You never know, because you know you're going to run out with ideas, but that's a whole point of a gratitude, to remind you to go back to your core. So, back to law of attraction. So write this down, but the key, after every point that you write 3 times, thank you, thank you, thank you. Give a gratitude even to a gratitude. You have to do it. This will rewire your brain. But as long as you're really set on it. If you're not, then don't do it. Because you know, I hate when people say to me, oh my God, this doesn't work. Oh, did you try? No, I put in the middle. Of course it doesn't work. Or the best thing when my client comes and says, you know, you told me I'm going to meet the man of my life a year ago and I haven't met him. I said, okay, what did you do past year? I was home, depressed, didn't want to go out, drinking wine every night, reading, books. Hey, you know what? You have to be there to attract that. You cannot just hide from it. So law of attraction is the same thing. Do it only if you mean it. Okay, very important. I want to conclude this session by saying something. And if you guys don't mind, we're going to take us a minute. I want us to do this little exercise. So, what this all got to do with anything I was talking about? Simply. Astrology, karma, soul power, law of attraction, everything is tied up together. So bottom line is, with lots of intentions, focused intentions, and gratitude, we can achieve anything. We can remove any karma. Nothing is said. God gave us this encoded message that we all have, which I find being in your birth chart. So when you learn more about you, about your birth chart, learn about yourself. And you can do it in many ways, self-discovery. I mean, it's available to all of us. You will be able to help yourself. And how I'm making all this work personally works for me, and I taught in many. I was teaching people in few workshops, tapping technique. Very briefly on tapping, how we can put all this together. How many of you heard about tapping? Many. It's a very known thing. So basically, find the affirmations that they work for you. Like I said, maybe it's some karmic affirmation. Maybe you want to be, let's say, you want to attract love of your life, but you always find the wrong guys. Pick an affirmations that they really kind of resonate. What is that you're looking to attract? If it's a tall, dark stranger from Italy, then this is what your attraction affirmation is going to be. And learn to tap. Tapping is also called a psychological acupuncture. Why? Because what we do, I'm going to demonstrate. We have to tap with using 3 fingers on the meridians that they are imprinted on our body, and by doing that, we trigger the healing. And you're wondering, what is it got to do with anything you just said? Simply, when we tap on those meridians using law of attraction, first of all, let me go back. Using intentions that you need to, whatever you guys need to achieve in your life, either you want to resolve a problem, maybe you want to declutter your life, maybe you want to, just simply resolve some patterns that you do, you're doing too much, or you don't talk too much, or sometimes you're a little bit naughty and you don't want to be naughty anymore, or simply want to attract whatever you want to attract. Use the tapping. Tapping techniques works, but combining with law of attraction affirmations. And by doing that, and you have to do it every day or every second day. It's only going to take 2 to 3 minutes of your time. You know what? I'm going to tell you a personal, very quick thing, and we're going to be wrapping up now. I hope I'm not so long. Few challenges that I was facing all my life, and like any of us, I faced many. And working with people brings me a lot of energy, and sometimes negative energy, that I get so overwhelmed that literally I start feeling like a contraction here in my stomach, and I'm like totally diluted sometimes, which is happening. Many healers know that, especially people that do readings or healings, they all know that. And believe it or not, sometimes I used to feel lack of confidence. I used to start feeling, okay, even though a very confident person, like all fire signs, I used to feel sometimes that I'm losing my grip, I'm losing, I'm not good enough, is that really good, am I doing the right job? I was always questioning myself over and over and over again. Tapping helped me to, you know what, when you come from a place of unworthiness, every bad thing can happen. So you need to get connected with the center of your true being, who you are. So tapping helped me to stop being, sucky, or, thinking that I'm not good enough and stuff like that. All those kind of negative patterns really helped me a lot. And not to even tell you what they did for some of my other clients, that they were really going through lots of serious problems. Yes. Okay, so to wrap up all this, I would like for you guys to stand up, if you don't mind. It will take us a minute the most. So what we're gonna do, I have a list of my favorite affirmations that I prepared for one of the workshops. It's like I said, going to be only a minute of your time. So how many of you know exactly how to tap the patterns and stuff? Okay, it's very simple. You're gonna just look what I'm doing, and I'm gonna be saying out loud. You can repeat inside of your head or out loud, whatever. So we're gonna be tapping using 3 fingers. We're gonna start with the left palm on the side of a palm. We're gonna go here, above my eyebrows. Let's test it. Side the temples, below your eyes, right here on this bone, underneath your nose, chin, collarbone, and that's my favorite, to release the negative energy below your left arm.
Left arm.
That's very important. That's how we're gonna do twice. So one more time, and at the end, when I said we are done, you're gonna grab your left wrist like this, and just like a strong motion, we're gonna release everything. Okay, so I have a few special ones, so I have to read. Don't mind me. Okay, so I'm gonna see this. No, I can't do it. I have to type it.
Can I hold it for you, ma'am?
Okay. So we're gonna start. I manifest my goals at the perfect time. I accept the miracles God has for me.
I accept the miracles God has for me.
I accept angels' help.
I accept angels' help.
I accept the divine guidance.
I accept the divine guidance.
I focus on what I love
I focus
and
on
that's joy to me. My thoughts are loving and positive.
My thoughts are loving and positive.
My choices and possibilities are expanding in every way.
My choices and possibilities are expanding in every way.
I love and trust my imagination.
I love and trust my imagination.
I am an unlimited being.
I am an unlimited being.
I always have everything I need.
I always have everything I need.
I live in an abundant universe and I always have everything I need.
I live in an abundant universe and I always have everything that I need.
I radiate self-esteem, inner peace, love, well-being, and happiness.
I radiate self-esteem,
Love, inner peace, love, being, and happiness. I create money and abundance through joy, aliveness, and self-love.
I create money with joy,
And self-love. It's okay, it's all good, it's still working. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. Everything I do brings me aliveness and growth.
Everything I do brings me aliveness and growth.
Let's do that again. Everything I do brings me aliveness and joy.
Everything I do brings me aliveness and joy.
I create money and abundance through joy and self-love.
I create money and abundance through joy and self-love.
And at the end, everything I create
Everything I create
fulfills me.
fulfills me.
Now, grab your left wrist, release. Peace.
Peace.
I swear so much. Thank you so much for everything, guys. Thank you for your patience and for your attention. I'm really grateful. I'm beyond grateful just being here and being present with all of you and these wonderful people. I'm very grateful again. Thank you so much. God bless you all. The next speaker, Michelle Day.
Thank you. Wow. She totally nailed me. I'm a Taurus. That's me, so I don't even need to introduce myself, I think. But my name is Michelle Day. I'm an entrepreneur. And I was first introduced to the law of attraction when I was about 21. And a boyfriend of mine at the time, and I didn't realise this, but he purchased a car on my credit card for £2,500.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that was a lot of money back then. I didn't have £2,500, and I didn't even really like using my credit cards. So basically, I was myself as to how I was going to pay this back. But I always remember at that time I was saying, I'll find a way, I will find a way, I will find the money, I will find the money. And now I realise that was an affirmation. Because one day I was coming outside of a newsagent's, and basically a newspaper shop. And at the corner of my eye, on the ground, I saw a piece of paper. And it was dirty, and it had been trodden on, it was disgusting. But something made me home in on that little piece of paper. So So I went over and I looked at that, and it had to be a lottery ticket. And then one part of my brain is going, that's disgusting, don't touch it. And another part of my brain is going, pick that up. So I listened to this part of my brain and I picked up this lottery ticket and I took it back into the newsagents. And the lady ran it through the system, she said, oh, it's one. I said, how much is it? She said, £2,500.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. Did you do tapping?
And I said, can you check it? I knew nothing about the law of attraction, beliefs, but I kind of thought to myself, that's a little bit more than a coincidence. And I did actually go and cash it in, and I paid off that credit card. So then from then, I basically started looking into what this was all about, wondering whether I did that, because I kept telling myself I'll find the money. I literally found it. And what I want to share with you today is a story of how I've been using law of attraction and beliefs to basically achieve my financial goals and many other goals of my life as well. I live on the beautiful island of Crete in Greece. I travel. I met my soulmate. I have 3 beautiful kids when I was supposed to not actually be able to have children. And I've achieved a lot of my financial goals. And I really wanted to put this to the test because I'm kind of a proof and evidence kind of girl. So in 2011, I was earning about $19,000 a month. And for my line of work, that was pretty good. And I was training other people on how to do the business that I do and travel and earn that kind of money online. And I published it publicly, and if you go on virtualmissfriday.com/income, I published the invoices that I issued so everybody could see, and I could prove to people that I was earning that kind of money. And a few years passed, and I realized I was capped because I kept earning that same amount of money. And then one day I decided, do you know what? I want to earn $30,000 a month. And I decided that I was going to apply the law of attraction, my belief system, to earning that money. And I want to share with you how I did that. So first of all, I'm going to write on here so you guys have got the stats. It's fine, I'm only going to write a few words, yeah. So the first thing is to reaffirm what our lovely astrologer over here said, is gratitude.
Pulling the words out of your mouth.
Okay. So the first thing is gratitude. I became very, very grateful for the money I was already able to earn. And the important thing about gratitude, and it is so important, is if you don't have gratitude, the rest of it is just rubbish. Because you will be in that constant feeling of lack, and you will be constantly feeling aware that you don't have what you want. So if I stayed in this constant feeling of I'm only earning 20 grand, then, and I'm not earning 30, then that's what the state I was in for the last few years, and I had to change it. So I decided I was going to be really grateful for the 20 grand, and I was going to kind of let go of the whole 30 grand thing, and just kind of accept that it's going to happen. So I did affirmations, and I did something called paraliminals. I don't know whether you've heard it, but basically paraliminals are when you do audios, and I did a lot of abundance paraliminals, where the sounds and the voices are going left and right and everywhere, and there's a guy called Paul Sheely who does those, which is very, very good if you're looking to find a space of gratitude. The next thing is my desire. Now I kind of already had that set. I wanted to earn 30k, never done 30k in a month. This was on the services side of my business. I had training in my business as well, and I keep that separate, but I really wanted to earn 30k in the services side. So I had the desire, I set my goal, I set the intention. Now the next thing, and this is probably the hardest for everybody, is expectation. Because this is where we become very non-committal. Because we're afraid we're not going to get what we want. So with my expectation, I thought to myself, what's the one thing that I could do that will make this an absolute must for me? And I'm quite prideful as a Taurian. And I thought to myself, okay, I've never made this amount of money before, but what's going to make it a must for me? What's going to make this essential? And this was in the October that I decided I was going to do this, and I thought to myself, right, in the November, I'm going to make the 30K, and in January, I'm going to do a workshop on how I made the 30K. So I published it, I put it out there, I sold tickets to this workshop, so I thought to myself, well, if I don't make the 30K, I've got nothing to say at this workshop. And that was not an option for me, so it became a must. So everything that you do, if you want to fast track this law of attraction thing, you have to make it a must. You have to put yourself in that position where there is no other option other than for you to achieve that goal. So once I created the workshop and I sold some tickets, and I was hosting it in the January, I then set on my beliefs. And your expectations will shape your beliefs. So I simply believed that I was going to make this money, even though there was no additional business coming in, everything was ticking over as it normally would. So what happened in that month in November, I had 2 clients who I had not heard from for maybe 4 or 5 years. One of them was 2 or 3 years, one of them was 4 or 5 years. They had a lot of money that they owed me. Both of them that month came to me and said, I'd like to pay the money back. And I have not heard from them for, one of them for 4 or 5 years, one of them for 2 or 3 years. And pretty much when they came to me and said that was more than half of the financial goal that I needed to achieve on top of that. Then I decided that I was going to run a promotion for a service that I was going to offer the following year. And I thought to myself, right, you know, even though I'm going to offer it next year, I'm going to offer it now. And I'm going to see if anyone's going to take it. And the rest of the money came from that. So what happened is, instead of earning 30,000, I cleared 32,222.20. I'm going to notice from the numbers thing, because I see a lot of numbers all the time. So that's what I made, and I've never done it before. And I just did it from those 4 steps. And I had the expectation, and I had very much the belief that I was going to do it, because, you know, if I didn't, I would have made a complete ass of myself on that workshop. But that's basically how I was able to achieve my financial goal. And like I say, if you go on virtualmissfriday.com/income, you'll be able to see the proof and the evidence, because I'm an evidence gal. And that's basically how I did it. And I have been using the law of attraction to achieve financial goals, to achieve personal goals.
We have a question.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, so we think this is amazing. So what happens when you have, say, a negative thought come in during the day that causes self-doubt? How do you reaffirm your belief? What's your way?
I accept that negative thought, and then I basically suggest to myself that it's a negative thought and you shouldn't be listening to it. And then I turn it around and think about the positive thought.
Okay.
What's the opposing thought of that? Because a lot of us will play on what could go wrong. I do it myself still. You know, I'm not perfect at this. Something, when I don't make it a must, sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 years to manifest something, but I know I will manifest it. But 2 or 3 years is a long time because it's not a must for me. But when I make it a must, it can happen like that, so fast. So, for example, and I will get to you in a second, because I know I need to end this, but I was wanting to live on an island, overlooking the ocean, overlooking the mountains, right by the sea. All my life I wanted to live in a place like that. And I was manifesting it. I had this house on my vision board, and I would sit there staring at that house for 3 years, and all of a sudden one day I just said, I'm not living here anymore. And I got off my ass, and I went down and I started looking for properties. And even though I knew that I probably couldn't afford anything like that, and this one property came up within about 4 weeks that was perfect. It was better than the one on my vision board, it was better than I could have ever imagined, and it happened to be a lot cheaper than I expected it to be. It was the same price as what I was paying. It just happened to be tucked away, nobody really knew about it, and now I'm living in my dream home. But I didn't make it a must. When I sit there and look at my vision board, unless I actually go through the motions and take a lot of action, it really doesn't happen for me. But particularly in this process, in this exercise, I really wanted to prove to myself that this would work, but it only works when you've got all of these 4 elements happening. And it really does start with gratitude, because like I say, if you feel the lack, if you feel that you don't have what you want, and this is really hard because, we're all thinking to ourselves, we want this so bad, and then when we want this so bad, we get this kind of thing in our stomach that we haven't got it, and how are we going to get it, and we're trying to figure it all out. Don't worry about figuring it out. You know, did I realise that those people were going to come back to me after all those years and just hand me over, you know, a few £1,000s? No, I didn't. I never even conceived of it. And if I had been trying to control the outcome of how I was going to earn this money and go out looking for it, I didn't do anything different, by the way. Nothing. I did not go out looking for anything. It just came to me. Then that's basically what happens. If I was trying to control it, it wouldn't have happened, and I know that. So let go, live your life, be happy in the moment, be grateful for what you have, be grateful for your hands, grateful for your feet, everything. Set your goals, understand what you truly, truly want out of life, and move forward with the expectation, which will then shape your beliefs. And I've taken enough time, so thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Surekha Kochari and I'm a hypnotherapist. I do Reiki as well. Fantastic. Both the ladies who spoke just now. And yes, Irina, I'm fire and therefore I'm going to look for the grounding that I need so badly according to you. But it's so true what you said about science. They're of great interest to me. And so I'm going to deal with something, with this subject a little differently, in the sense that I'm going to deal with how do you reach excellence, and what is soul power, and how do you increase soul power, and how do you get to the point where the soul power really helps you. So the not so good news is that when we are born, the astrological chart is there based on certain things, of course, but we are not born with a clean slate. So we have the past lives, which are already within us. We have the emotions of the parents when the child is in the womb. And when we come out of the mother's womb and begin to grow, there is a lot of conditioning that happens. So with all these things, we definitely are not working with a clean slate. We need to unlearn and relearn a lot of things as we grow up.
Keep your mic a bit down.
Excuse me, there's a lot of disturbance.
No, if you see, I'm working on it now, but there's
Is it better now?
cutting so much now.
Is it better?
Try this one.
Okay. Hello? Hello? Is
Yes,
that better?
yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay, great. So as I was saying, we're not born with a clean slate, and therefore as we grow up, we get to start unlearning and relearning many, many, many things. Alright? Soul power is a very, very sensitive issue with everyone, because we're all souls. We're all spirits that come from the soul world for a few years, because we have the time here, which we don't have in the soul world. And so we get those many years to actually sort out the karmic plan, the soul plan, which brings us to this world. So now the soul power is something that we need to conserve, because we bring it from the soul world. But what happens? As a child, supposing at 5, I have been abused. I've gone through a trauma. It's been extremely, excruciatingly painful. And I tend to store that. So the soul energy and the soul power that I have brought, it depletes. And we go through life again to 10, 15, maybe next trauma or something unpleasant happens to us when we are 10 or 15. And then again we drop a little bit of that soul power. And we move on with that depleted energy into the world, growing up, unable to really look after ourselves. And because the energy depletes, we also tend to get dominated by people who have more energy. Sometimes we actually tend to give up our energy to other people. For example, I was brought up by a very strict father, and not realizing what I was doing, I was giving away all the energy to him because he was taking all my decisions. So although we studied at the best schools and best colleges and everything, the decisions of our life were completely taken from us. I couldn't go, he didn't allow me to give an exam for MBA, he didn't allow me because it was my brothers who were doing everything. And so the girl was really, it was not necessary. So you see how, and we respected our parents, so we never thought of, oh, why is he doing this? Of course it hit us somewhere, but we just let it go out of respect. But what happens then? We're really injuring ourselves because we're actually depleting energy. I never saw it like that at that time. So And then after marriage again, I had a lot of issues because whatever I wanted to do was never manifesting because there were too many controls, too many things happening. And so to go through life like that with depleted energy, I realized was a real minus point. So when we talk of soul power, we have to retrieve that soul power. And we have to retrieve it from the very people who've taken it away from us. All the places where we have left that power. And it doesn't only apply to people, it applies to places also. So when you're talking about a life of excellence, we really have to retrieve our soul energy to be able to think in terms of excellence in any field. That is extremely important, which none of us realize. And of course, I get cases of depressions and addictions and all kinds of cases where I understand when we go into the story, and I also do past life regression, and it comes from various lifetimes. And suddenly there will be a trigger, and suddenly the entire issue will come into the forefront, and then we can heal it. But our subconscious mind is so deep. It's 88 to 90% of our mind. Whereas the conscious mind with which we work is only 8 to 10%. And we use that most of the time. We don't delve into our subconscious mind at all, so we don't see all the unassimilated, unhealed files lying there until they actually come up as a trigger. So to achieve excellence, we have to actually go into ourselves in a very deep way and clear up the mess. Because we are carrying burdens from so many lifetimes. We don't even know. So meditation is a very good place to be in. If you meditate every day, you do tend to sort out a lot of your karmic issues. Coming down to law of attraction. So law of attraction is something that you are automatically attracting who you are. So you have to be in a certain place to attract that particular frequency or that particular vibration to you. So if you're revolving every day and cleaning yourself up, you will be attracting different things at different points in life. And that is what you call evolution, because as you go up, you will get a more rarefied atmosphere inside you, because this is all about creating the atmosphere within. It doesn't come externally. So the more you clean up, the more you will find circumstances and things changing around you, mostly absolutely miraculously. Sometimes you will wonder, wow, what happened? And that's happened to me once I started practicing the modalities I had learned. There were one or two people in my life who it was just something that I never understood why they couldn't stand me. Now, there is something like the law of resonance that I would also like to talk in conjunction with the law of attraction, which says that anything that you see outside, a percentage of that is within you. Right? But what do? We look at everything outside and we expect that others will do things for us, and then we say, oh, so-and-so is like this, so-and-so, and we start playing the blame game without understanding that actually the cleaning up has to be done here, not there. It's very important to understand that. So when you start understanding that, and when I started doing my hypnotherapy and started understanding certain principles of the universe, so I understood that I have to do something about this because it was getting very uncomfortable, because she was an integral part of my family and it was causing a lot of struggle to the family. So one day I just picked up the phone and said, hey, I want to have coffee with you. She was completely shaken up because she had not expected. She said, no, I'm busy. I don't care how busy you are. You're giving me a time within the next 24 hours. So very grudgingly she gave me time. I took her out for coffee and I said, okay, what is it? She said, what is what? I said, okay, what do you have against me? What is it that's bothering you? You know something, she had very little to say, and the things that she had piled on was nothing but a complex, nothing but a feeling of low self-esteem, probably because she saw me as doing things which she would have liked to do and didn't quite get doing. So you see how little things get magnified, and if you clean up inside you, and if you take the initiative of cleaning up, you automatically tackle the issue and get over the issue and make it pleasant all around. And then you start attracting people who have seen this in you and who also would like to be like that. So life is a mirror. Life is a mirror. If you look at yourself in the mirror, you get up every morning and look into the mirror and you see yourself and your face. Okay? So now suddenly you take up a color and put it on your cheek and again look at the mirror. what will the mirror show you? The face with the color. Now you try putting your hand out into the mirror and cleaning that. Can you do it? So how do you clean? Then look at the mirror, you pick up the towel, you clean it, you clean your face and then look into the mirror. So what does that show? It shows that the onus is on us. That the world is a mirror for us and we're the ones who have to clean ourselves. And today we have beautiful modalities like, angel work, angel therapy, that the 72 layers of consciousness. I don't know how many of you know this therapy. Who knows angel therapy? Angel dreams and signs. Anyone? Anyone practice it? Okay. So when I started practicing it a couple of months ago, it was just absolutely delightful. This mantra, every angel is a mantra, and you start cleaning up with it, and you tell the angel to purify and cleanse your whatever your past life situation or your current life situation, you name it, and you say purify and cleanse that from every cell in my body, and it really, really works. It starts cleansing, and you feel the transformation coming on to you. And it is really amazing how many modalities there are today where we can actually make a difference. To attract the right things in life, to do the right things in life, to achieve a life of excellence, we have to deal with ourselves. There is no shortcut, and there is no instant coffee. Yes, my own.
I just wanted to share something.
Yes, sure.
Hey, you can come here.
Hi, my name is Mahima. I just have been working on many things on how to connect and how to be able to heal myself and also use various modalities. But something that really worked for me, which I figured after many trials and errors, is talking to the universe. So I just talk, and I talk loudly, as if there's a human being sitting in front of me. And most of my talking happens in the car while I'm driving. A few years back, I was in a relationship and it was very toxic.
That mic, go mic. Yeah, that mic's not.
A few years back, I was in a relationship and it was very toxic. It was really getting very abusive, emotionally abusive. And I had no idea how to get out of it. So one day, I put my foot down and I said, I need to stop this. I need to get out of this. And I was driving to his house. And while I was driving, I said, today, it's this way or that way. I have to let him know that it's done. I'm done with him. So I just said, okay, wherever you are, all the angels and all the archangels get together and help me. And I started talking loudly. And it was like a half an hour drive, 45 minutes drive. Half an hour I kept talking. And then I said, okay, I'm done. Let me know, give me a sign that you heard me. As soon as I said that you've heard me, there's this car which came from the side, from the left-hand side, overtook me, came in front of me, and at the back of that window was written Mahima. That's my name.
Oh, that's your name.
That's my name. And it's not a very common name, let me tell you. It's not a very common name.
And so can you wait for Lady to finish and then we're going to start with question and answer?
Yes,
So
please.
sorry.
Yeah.
Just
And
want to
then-
let her conclude her session and then
And
we
then
can ask.
I told him and we were done with that.
Thank you for sharing that.
So Mahima has given me something new to talk about for a minute extra, which is the power of intention. When we talk of excellence and we talk about gratitude, which I'm very grateful for, because gratitude is one of the most important things that we actually, in our day-to-day life, deal with, and we should be grateful for every little thing that we have. But the power of intention is also huge. So if you make an intention, a pure intention, it will definitely manifest. And all your life, if you take your life as a mission, even that will make a big difference. Your attitude to life. So are you doing things just to gratify yourself? Or are you doing something for the larger good, which also encompasses your good? And that intention becomes a mission. And that mission, the universe will always support. And that way you can achieve a huge amount of excellence in whatever you do and also feel satisfied. And you will be in a state of bliss because then you are the channel, you are truly the channel of the universe. And your ego is not coming into the forefront at all. It is what is being channelized from there through you. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you guys. You're amazing. I love what you just said, and thank you so much for going into details. It's very important. This is the most, when it comes to karma and true soul purpose, you're right. We have to reflect back on a past life because we're all born with those, actually it's a one soul, different bodies. Like famously Dr. Brian Weiss said once, one soul, different bodies. That's what it is. So guys, I would like to offer you to ask us some questions to any of us. So yes, please.
I would like to.
Yes. Go ahead.
Should I just talk? Okay, I'll sit here. Oh, sorry. Well, just a comment. First of all, I just want to share that this was perfectly balanced in harmony. All of you had things to say that I could resonate with everybody here. It was just beautiful. But my comment is towards Sarika. I completely resonate with everything that you had to share. And I want to ask you a question, what your thoughts are in regards to the law of attraction. And I'm just going to be honest, I believe in the law of attraction 100% in terms of our thoughts and what we resonate with and how it has to manifest. We do have that power because we have the divine in all of us. However, what are your thoughts in terms of, like you said, we don't come in on a clean slate, right? So we are unconscious of old past lives and habitual patterns that we come into this life unconsciously and keep repeating these patterns over and over and over again and into other lives. We keep repeating the cycle of birth and death over and over and over again. And we're unconscious of it, so it's not really our fault. This is where non-judgment and loving awareness comes in. But the question that I have for you is that because we are unconscious of these habitual patterns, and say if we don't have a practice to clean up the stuff, as you said, when we apply the law of attraction, what comes to mind is we're manifesting the same illusion and the patterns over and over again, which lengthens our cycle, right? What are your thoughts on that? Because I believe that we are here also to overcome these lessons. So if we keep, living just in the law of attraction and manifesting through the ego of our own individual wants, as opposed to being an instrument channeling the universe for the highest good, not just for our individual selves, what ends up happening unconsciously and innocently is we keep repeating these cycles over and over again, which brings pain and suffering into our lives because we're not liberating ourselves, we're not learning the lessons. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing is that, again, the power of intention comes into play here. I firmly believe that you can manifest anything you want, provided you're not looking for your own desires and your own wants. If you're looking at what you want may not manifest, but what is ordained will manifest. If you have a clean slate, if you actually start to clean up yourself and remove the layers of pollution that we generally carry with us, we will be able to see very clearly. It's like it's a very cloudy sky and you can't see the sun, but once the clouds are out, immediately the sun is shining on you brilliantly. We ourselves are not able to see what actually is the purpose of our own life, because as you said rightly, we tend to forget because we're born and then we get conditioned, which is why I said earlier we have to unlearn and relearn. So as you grow up, if you start increasing your awareness, and if you start studying, you have to get the right knowledge. Because without knowledge, you can't really get anywhere. You have the right understanding, you have the right knowledge, and then you have to have the courage. Because there is a lot of courage involved in working with yourself. We deny ourselves so many things. We don't look at ourselves, we don't accept ourselves. We all have a light and dark side, but do we accept our dark side? We don't. We tend to shun it. So the way is to accept both our sides and then go about cleaning up, so that, because this is a part of you and you have to love and approve of yourself first. So if you have distortions, you have to transfer them and transform them into qualities. And that's why we're here. So for us to say that, how can we do this? This is the only way we can do it. As I said, there's no shortcut. We have to really start accepting ourselves and introspecting. And then we will be able to get someplace where we can then start evolving.
Any more questions?
Can I just quickly add as well? I think when you're doing affirmations and things like that, I think no matter how many past lives we've had, the universe still works the same way. So one thing I do is I always say when I have any intentions that I want it to come in an easy and relaxed manner for the good of all. So I think when it's coming for the good of all, no matter what's happened in our past or what's going to happen in our future, the universe will probably provide that.
Thank you.
I might add one more thing in relation to what a beautiful lady's already said. I totally agree. When we have a problem at hand, either it's a karmic issue or ongoing issue or pattern or something, the habit or whatever conditioning we're talking about, the most important thing is, and at least in astrology, we are easy, every professional astrologer can identify that, especially the one that are dealing with the soul astrology and karmic astrology and so on and so forth. The moment when we discover what the true karma or the true negative pattern is, that's the moment when we cannot anymore preach the ignorance of bliss. That ignorance becomes an obvious truth. So, and regardless of any karma or anything, we all have, I want you to understand that we are all born with those burdens. It's simply the lessons that we either didn't learn or we need to experience. There's a two type of karma. You either need to go through the bad things or you gotta learn about the bad things. There is no other way around. So the moment we discover what is the truly that hinder us, we cannot be any more ignorant toward it. So basically, we need to accept that what is the problem. Like Surika said already, there is no easy way out. It's only the road less traveled, which means we have to identify exactly what is the problem and simply allow healing to come to us, or search for the answers and search for the healing. So there is no other way around.
Sorry, I just want to add to this. So there are two kinds of schools we live in this world. One is a school of causes and one is a school of consequences. So it depends on how many lifetimes you're going to go through, depending on which school you belong to. The school of causes is when you actually prevent things from happening with taking other people's examples or reading and finding yourself more knowledgeable, as I said. And the school of consequences when you're constantly looking for making your mistakes and then learning, which seems to be a longer process. And as far as your repeated patterns are concerned, I think that is really, wisdom is first to find your repeated patterns and then break them with wisdom and with whatever modalities, techniques you need to break them so that they don't come before you in any succeeding in any future lives.
Thank you. So, this is a very short time. So with this we'll be concluding our session because we are already having guests outside. So thank you everyone. Thank you.
That was amazing. Beautiful. Thank you. I'm gonna take a picture.
मैं देखूंगा मैं बता दूंगा मैं मेरा भी खत्म हो गया था इसमें 1% रह गया अब थोड़ी देर बाद में 1% रह गया हाँ ठीक थैंक यू
But I didn't choose you.
खत्म ना कहाँ खत्म दुनिया खत्म नहीं ये सेशन